Recollect the time when everyone believed Caitlin Clark was secretly having sex in Europe? Yes, we have some new basketball footage that will make those who have been spreading rumors pay attention. For example, Cheryl Swoops Clark wasn't crossing the oceans. Instead, she was crossing up defenders in the U.S. Prepare for an exclusive look at Clark's actual off-season grind, which includes rigorous workouts, precise shooting drills, and an entirely new level of dedication. This isn't just practice footage, it's a warning to the entire WNBA. In this video, we'll share her recently released exam and the significance of this, not just to debunk rumors, but also to communicate with the league and provide additional information about her off-season plans. The league won't know what hit Clark until we break it down, so please remember to subscribe to the channel. He's returning stronger, faster, and more accurate than ever while also feeling happy and refreshed. Are you ready? Let's depart for several weeks. Caitlin Clark stopped posting anything on social media about basketball, including practice clips and exercise updates. Nothing. And you know what happens when there's a lack of information? The rumors start to fly out of control, and everyone in their grandma's world was convinced that Clark had secretly left for some international hoops action in Europe. The rumors quickly spread like wildfire. With French powerhouse, Clark signs it was everywhere when Caitlin saw it during practice in Spain, but when reality set in, none of it was true, not even close. A few YouTube channels went above and above, fanning the flames with outright fabrications. We're talking about shoddy, photo-manipulated evidence that wouldn't fool a toddler, and hazy sightings of Clark's face smeared onto the bodies of random European players that could have been anyone with a ponytail. Come on, everyone, this was getting out of control. When the real European leagues were in full swing, we're talking about 3 or even 4 weeks into their season, Caitlin would have said something or released film herself if it were true. To her amazement, not a single trustworthy. If Clark was not lighting up scoreboards in Europe, where was she? It turns out that the answer was what we all knew deep down in our hearts while the internet was going crazy. You would think that one of the most recognizable faces in women's basketball would cause a bit of a stir if she showed up with all the press following her right. The whole situation was beginning to smell fishier than a month-old tuna sandwich. Here at the good old United, Clark was relaxing and taking advantage of some much-needed vacation. We were discussing golf outings with his teammate Lexi Hull of the Indiana Fever and playing at the fun fair alongside Aaliyah Boston. Participating in charitable endeavors like the rest of us mere mortals, Galas and her boyfriend are likely binge-watching the newest Netflix phenomenon while hanging out with friends. This is typical off-season fare for a 22-year-old who just finished a demanding year of back-to-back historic college basketball and then a record-breaking rookie season. So much for the great European adventure. There must be more to the story because, let's face it, someone with Clark's drive isn't going to spend the entire off-season lounging on the couch. Clark wasn't secretly dominating overseas. Instead, she was rejuvenating and enjoying life off the court. I know it sounds shocking, but hold on, if Clark wasn't globe-trotting or hitting the hardwood, was she really up to during this basketball blackout? As the rumors were getting out of control, while some unreliable news agencies were busy formulating wild hypotheses about her off-season adventures, Clark came out of the shadows with footage that left even her harshest critics stunned. The question is not where she has been, but rather where she is heading next. While Clark was working discreetly behind our backs, the Indiana Fever suddenly revealed a series of films on social media that put an immediate stop to rumors and ignited the basketball community. This wasn't just ordinary training video, though. There was Clark back in the Fever's practice facility completely dominating the nets, making 25 straight three-pointers that swished over the rim like it was child's play. The precision, shape, and intense focus in her eyes were all present. For those who believed Clark may be relaxing following a demanding first season, this footage served as a wake-up call while everyone else was guessing. Clark wasn't just back. She was back with a fury. Clark was highlighting the difference between what fans expected and what actually happened. Starker couldn't have been drinking cocktails on the beach or dribbling idly along cobblestone alleyways in Europe. As it turns out, Clark has a clear plan for improvement. She started by strengthening herself and adding a floater to her arsenal, which is a wise move for a guard who frequently faces taller and bulkier defenders in the paint. That little teardrop shot could be a game changer, giving Clark another weapon when the big bodies close in. Remember which other generational point guard abruptly emerged from an off-season with a noticeably bulkier frame and a sweet tier? Even with an older and less famous supporting cast, Steph Curry returned with a vengeance, significantly bulkier on defense, and a more reliable teardrop shot. This led to a championship and finals MVP in 2022. She is also working hard on her left-handed dribbling, which may seem like a minor detail, but in the WNBA, where every advantage counts, becoming truly ambidextrous with the ball could open up a whole new world of offensive possibilities for Clark. Of course, we can't overlook the shooting that video of 25 consecutive threes. It wasn't a fluke. Clark is laser-focused on improving her accuracy from all over the court. Consider this: in her debut season, Clark shot 41.7% from the field and 34.4% from beyond the arc. Those are solid numbers, good enough to be in the top 50 for field goal accuracy and top 30 for three-point accuracy in the season, especially for a first player shouldering a massive offensive load. But Clark isn't satisfied with solid, she's aiming for spectacular. Imagine if Clark can bump that field goal percentage up into the mid-40s or 50s, or push her three-point accuracy closer to 40%. We're talking about a player who's already one of the league's most dynamic scorers, becoming even more efficient by just being a bit more accurate. She won't need to sacrifice any assists, but can easily drop 30 points on any given game, out in the fact that her teammates will likely create better openings for her as they gel as a unit, and the potential for offensive fireworks is off the charts. But it's not just about the stats for Clark. Her dedication to off-season training reveals a lot about her motivation and mindset, which is what distinguishes great players from mediocre ones. The Indiana Fever coaching staff is giddy with anticipation because they know they have something unique in Clark. Clark isn't satisfied with her rookie success. She's eager for more and constantly looking for ways to improve her game. Her commitment to training, work ethic, and willingness to put in extra hours all lead to a potentially outstanding sophomore season. The Fever's social media team is obviously excited, posting videos of Clark working out and fandom fervor. What message does Clark want the rest of the league to take up from her exercise videos and her laser-like concentration on improvement? She is simply vying for the throne. Instead of taking it easy or reveling in her record-breaking achievements, Clark is putting the WNBA as a whole on notice. The best is still to come. One thing is very evident as the new season draws near. Caitlin Clark is an individual with a purpose. The rest of the league needs to pay attention because Caitlin Clark 2.0 is poised to take the court and ignite the basketball world. However, Clark's intensity on the court is only one aspect of her off-season. There is another aspect that is equally significant, but much less well known. She is not just trying to be good or even great. She is aiming for legendary status. What has Clark been doing when she isn't honing her handle or draining threes? Although Caitlin Clark's remarks broke expectations, her silence spoke volumes. What did Clark disclose, and more significantly, what is she still keeping secret? Two short phrases that went viral on the internet. Burning talk about throwing a bomb in one sentence. I feel like I'm only scratching the surface. There are so many things I want to work on every day at the gym. Swooping fell. Not only did Clark put an end to the wild rumors about overseas adventures, but he also sent a warning shot across the WNBA. This wasn't just a statement. It was a declaration of intent, and the response was swift and fierce. Teammate Aaliyah Boston added her unwavering support, saying, "You deserve it, all ready for more with you." It's obvious that Clark's ambition is contagious, spreading like wildfire through the Fever locker room. However, what did Clark mean when she said, "scratching the surface"? Was she implying that she has undiscovered aspects of her game, or was this a more general comment regarding her influence on women's basketball in general? One thing is certain, though, Clark isn't only considering her own achievements. She stressed the league's growth, saying the more we can do so, the more we can get people to watch games on national television, and the better it will be for the game's future. The WNBA has been rocked by Clark's remarks. Season forecasts are being revised, community betting odds are changing, and all of a sudden, it doesn't seem likely that Clark will win MVP the following season. Did well. She ought to have taken home the trophy this year as well. The league has been placed on notice. Red hot fever is coming with Caitlin Clark, but despite how captivating her basketball goals are, there is another side to her off-season narrative that is just as captivating as her on-court exploits. A picture of Clark as a genuinely well-rounded superstar is being painted by his pursuits outside of the court. Feel like basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast, and then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team and kind of move on and put all that behind me and help this team, get back to the playoffs. So, I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back. Most people thought Clark would hit the gym when the season's final buzzer sounded, but instead she disappeared from view. Now that tidbits of her off-season are showing, an alarming trend is developing. Could Clark's unorthodox strategy be the secret to realizing her full potential at a time when fans were demanding more basketball content? Caitlin Clark was busy redefining what it means to be a professional athlete off the court. The basketball phenom made news when she showed up at a star-studded charity gala rubbing elbow with ace celebrities and business mogul. But it wasn't all about the flash and glamour. Clark had a purpose and used her position to support causes that were important to her. Honestly, it makes me smile in return. Like, for me, I'm just myself. That's what I try to be. I try to just be a great role model for them, and I think it speaks to how I was raised as a kid. I've loved every second of playing sports, but also my parents always preached. This well-publicized performance was only the beginning, as information about Clark's off-season pursuits surfaced, painting an image of a young star dedicated to causes outside her jump shot, ranging from national charitable endeavors to local community service. The Indiana Fever star's been making an impression well beyond the hardwood, but it's not all work and no play. Clark has demonstrated her competitive spirit by almost sinking a hole in one on the golf course. She's been enjoying time with family and friends outside of basketball, which is a luxury that is frequently difficult to find during the demanding WNBA season. Some admirers are baffled by this balanced attitude. Shouldn't she be working out? Isn't every second spent away from basketball a lost chance? Clark gave a hearty negative in answer. As I think back on the past year of my life, I'm incredibly grateful for Clark's words, which emphasize the value of perspective and appreciation. The people in my life are the ones who allow me to be myself and be good at what I do. It's a novel approach in a society that frequently assumes athletes to be single-minded, and experts support Clark's strategy. For a long time, sports psychologists have emphasized the advantages of a balanced lifestyle for professional athletes. Taking a break from sports can result in better mental health, less burnout, and even increased performance. Court performance through taking part in a variety of activities and fostering relationships outside of the court. It's possible that Clark is positioning herself for long-term professional success and sustainability. This all-encompassing approach to the off-season could improve Clark's skills in noticeable ways in addition to promoting personal fulfillment. Diverse experiences and a mental reset may help players make better decisions and be more creative on the court. Her body can fully recuperate thanks to the physical break. As the WNBA season draws near, everyone will be watching Clark to see how this unorthodox off-season approach works out and whether we witness a more relaxed, focused, and dynamic player. This time away from basketball has given her the opportunity to acquire new perspectives that will improve her game.